Hello everyone, this is Wally from Guild Wars Versus.com. This is a Guild Wars Guild vs. Guild commentary brought to you by GWFC. It's the very first of what we hope will be many more in our attempt to bring you special and exciting new content from the highest level of competitive play. In this video we have Lulu the Monk and Kriegar from Treacherous Empire, who will offer their perspectives on Game 1 in the first round matchup between the Last Pride and Treacherous Empire in the first season playoffs of the Guild Wars Faction Championship. Hello Lulu, hello Kriegar.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going alright. Before the match gets underway, I'd like to get your strategies and tactics going into this match.
Well, we had two general strategies going into this match. We knew that EviL likes to double cap a lot, and when they have a comfortable lead on flags, they push hard on you. We decided that one of our primary goals this match was to outrun them on flags. The other objective we had was to take out Soul Wedding repeatedly. While he certainly is an incredible monk, his skill pales in comparison to that of Sadie from Pug.
I would have to concur with that last one.
We already capped at about 17 seconds, so we've been chain running flags in the beginning to try and keep them off balance and fighting us as a whole.
And also, EviL decided to split right off the bat. And we're about to get an early kill on one of the footmen here.
There's been a lot of split tactics in the metagame for Guild versus Guild, and are there any particular comments or insights you could share with our viewers regarding what makes EviL split so particularly effective?
Well, when it comes down to split, it's a lot of micromanagement between the 4 or however many players are on the split, so individual skill level really shows, and EviL's always excelled with that.
I have to agree with Kriegar there that even if their builds may be lacking against particular counters for a split style tactic fight, they will overcome those deficiencies just through outplaying you.
Yes, it certainly is quite clear that EviL has really some of, the game's top players.
By this part of the match, EviL's already decided to forego the split because it wasn't really working, and they've lost a footman, so they're going to try and catch up on flags here. They've been sending Danjang and Bloodlight, Last of Master. All three have been chain running flags back and forth.
At these sort of exalted levels of PvP play, how much of a loss is it felt when you lose an NPC this early in the game?
Those front footmen and archer are a pretty big deal because they give you the ability to pull back from the flag stand and turtle a bit with a lot of extra DPS from those 3 NPCs. So losing an early footman and archer is huge.
The two conditions are also very significant. The severed arteries and the pin downs help a tremendous amount when you're trying to retreat a little bit and regroup.
Another thing that I've been noticing, particularly with the Elementalist monk builds that have been more prevalent in the metagame, is the resurgence, or really just, I guess the first time, not even a resurgence, of water snaring hexes, which is something that I believe is fairly new. Would you share your thoughts on how that works with your build and what it is like, and what you need to prepare for?
I believe it's mostly because 1 star and Soul Wedding are simply cockroaches and they won't die, so we figured, hey, can't move, maybe it'll help us out a little.
The thing with the emergence of the water hexes mostly is that people needed a way to snare someone without that was harder to remove than a crypt shot poison, because people have been just bringing draw condies and pulling that off immediately. So if you stack a water snare and some other type of hex around, then it's much harder to get rid of.
Oh sure, give a real reason why. And so here we are, we're just still trying to maintain a good pace on flag. Right now I've been calling for Carr to come back to me and grab the flag from me, and then he runs it in while I go and grab another flag, which is pretty similar to what EviL's doing. They're utilizing Last of Master to get it, and they'll generally have either Danjang or one of the other warriors run it in. And right now we are slightly ahead on flag captures, and we're about to put in a good push here.
Yeah, you'll notice that all of EviL's players are using their ward melees almost perfectly, because that's pretty much their only warrior defense other than the blinding flash and blurred visions in this build. They have no Aegis or no guardians.
So, in saying that their ward against melee use is perfect, what would you say are the elements that are important to consider when using such a defense?
And there was a push right on Soul Wedding, and he actually rezzed at the base.
If you notice, Soul Wedding auto-rezzed at base right at 6 minutes, so 1 star was left alone and immediately killed.
And then we're going to turn on the Warder and Blinder for EviL, as he does provide a substantial amount of disruption for our warriors.
And I see he goes down.
Here.
Yes, and then here we're going to take 1 star. But as they are about to fall here comes Last Master with a flag, and I simply do not want to run back and get another flag. So we have a few people pressuring Soul Wedding while we take out Last Master here.
And flag is dropped and returned. So a morale boost is going to come shortly.
How important is that first morale boost in the game? Its psychological effects, and how can a team that has given it up, what must be going through their minds, and how can they recover from that?
Well, at this point, it wasn't terrible for EviL, as we had not used a SIG yet, and so by gaining a morale boost at this point, we don't gain from like getting our 6 recharged. It does give us, however, that extra 10%. It does let our skills recharge, and it also is a detriment to the other team's morale that we were able to stop them from capping the flag. So in this instance, it wasn't a terrible crushing blow, but in other games where you might be down almost all of your SIGs already, and then you get that morale boost, and then all your SIGs are now recharged, your DP has now decreased, it can be very, very, very important.
At this point, this is the first time EviL has been really fighting with the entire 8. They just decided to forego running flags to try and make a push back. So you'll notice they're double ward melees, 1 on each emo, usually laid in a figure 8 pattern.
Oh, the footman's gonna die. And he gets healed.
Yep.
We'll go.
Sneaky soul winning and 1 star.
Oh, back to what you were commenting earlier about proper use of wards. One of the main things that you have to concentrate about when using a ward is while you do need to be inside the ward, you'll notice that a lot of EviL is usually around the outer rims of the ward so that they're not all clumped together, that it has the possibility of getting hit with AoEs. And there was another good spike on Soul Wedding, which is the execution of our second strategy.
Yeah, if you'll notice, that I was standing next to Soulwaiting's corpse, with basically just waiting for them to res him for the Gale blackout as soon as he comes up, so that the other monk is still vulnerable, and he goes right back down. Basically, what we've been doing so far is waiting for a good push. Both of our warriors are using Warrior's Cutting, so we're bypassing their wards, and we're trying to just shut down one monk and pound the other one down, and then switch to the other monk and camp the first one's corpse for blackout once it reses.
And so the tools you're using for that one monk shutdown before the other one goes down is primarily Gale and Blackout?
Yeah, the Mez Ellie is running Gale and Blackout both, and the Ranger has a Blackout as well.
Another thing we should mention about the awards is going into this match, we also knew that they liked their awards, and we decided to bring in Warrior's Cunning to help counter that and ensure some solid spikes against our targets. However, we decided to be somewhat sneaky about the utilization of the skill by hiding the use of Warrior's Cunning with Frenzy over it so that it does not really appear on your skill monitor. And at this time I've grabbed the repair kit and am going to repair the catapult, which we will utilize later on in this match.
Yeah, basically what Lulu meant by hiding the use of the skill was Frenzy and Warrior's Cunning are both on the bottom line of the actions. So if you hit Warrior's Cunning and Frenzy really quickly together, you only see the Frenzy, since it covers up the original skill, since they're both instants.
Incredibly sneaky. Fantastic.
Yeah, we were hoping they'd stay in the ward melees and not be too sure about how we're getting kills through it.
At this point we noticed a few of EviL trying to sneak out their back or their side entrance, so we decided to take a peek and see what's going on. Eunjung here is taking out the flag, and Captain Danjang has their repair kit, and we decided we were going to try and stop this repair kit from getting to our catapult at all costs. And you'll see a nice
and
little
there's the morale boost.
Yes, and here you'll see a nice little engagement at the back.
On the topic of dealing with spikes and having the sort of strategy and tactics to take care of an initiative by EviL to repair the catapult, how is the structure for, well, not necessarily for Treacherous Empire, but how independent are the 8 characters on a guild versus guild team, and how much of that needs to be autonomous?
Usually you'll want to have some sort of preset splits, but you want to be flexible too. So if you notice they're only sending 2 out the back with a flag and a repair kit or something, only send as much as you need to deal with them. Usually
here
someone
we're
will just make
going
a quick
to
call.
Gale and snare Danjang.
Yeah, Danjing has a repair kit, so we're trying to force 1-star in and steal it. Here you should keep an eye on car number 2 for us.
Trex is going to run in and blackout 1-star.
And 1-star's been blacked out, and just pound on Danjang. And car Ninja steals that repair kit and takes off.
This allows us to hide the extra repair kit into the back of our base, so it will basically not allow them to repair our catapult and catapult us when either I'm running the flag or at VOD when our NPCs are running out. It also allows or disallows them from catapulting our NPCs. Here, Trexton makes an awesomely bad call. He decided we were going to try and collapse on the back group of evils, but we actually didn't really know where the other group of evils was, and so when we collapsed on them, they actually collapsed on us first, while Carr was hiding our repair kit. I was capping the flag. Well, I was going to engage, but then I had to go back and cap the flag because Unjung capped, and this led our team to be in quite a disarray. So at this point, we're split pretty bad, as Steppen just died, and, well, bad things are going to happen.
I'd like to note that I called not to go there, but I had to stay to help try and save Steppen. But somehow Trex gets away.
So
they knew you were the greater threat.
So in such an instance with their contradictory strategic calls, how are they sorted in a timely manner?
Well, in this case, they really weren't. We basically, at the end, we tried to follow Trex's call, but as you can see, it didn't work out very well, and so just a general retreat came out. Something in our guild is we've always stressed that everyone has the ability to call tactics, call strategies, based upon viewpoints, and have a fast and flexible strategy, although in the end, there's generally one person who will say something and everybody will have to concur fairly quickly. Even if we disagree with it, we'll say, do it. And sometimes we've had problems with that and it doesn't work out. Here we're running out the back.
Yeah, you'll notice EviL at our front gate trying to body block the door to keep us from capping the flag. Basically, they can't really pressure us with the catapult since we stole the repair kit, so they're just trying to stall to get morale.
And there's nice ice spikes. Ooh, Blood had an early bull strike on Carr.
Here the base group, we're forcing their split group out. They do get their morale boost, but if you watch Soul Wedding, he gets caught behind and Chain Gale.
I'd like to point out the Interrupt on Divine Boon from our Gales.
Yes, it's quite a feat. While we're on the topic of morale and flags, how do you feel it impacts, I guess, general pressure on the other team when you dedicate to chain running the flag as part of your objective? Do you feel that that adds pressure in other ways? Less sort of material, like DPS sorts of ways? Or do you actually palpably feel the lack of that extra character dealing damage?
Oh, when Last of Master or Bloodlight is gone from the battle, you definitely feel it. There's a lot less pressure on our monks. Also, a side note is a lot of people have been running emo flag runners, and they carry a lot of their defense on those characters, so if you can keep them away from the fight, that negates a lot of their defense for you to get through. Right there we saved number 6 Devil for the 18-minute res mark, so you just kill him slightly after.
So when you've pushed back EviL into their guild hall, it's really quite, they're quite on the defensive, yet at the same time they have all of these NPCs to deal with. What are your thoughts when you start sieging an enemy team that is turtling?
Well, as you can see right now, Pally is going around soloing each NPC. and that helps out our backline substantially. The front, in the back of the base with all their bodyguards and archers, with EviL's damage and pressure, we were very apprehensive to go in and see how things are going, but you still got to try and hope for the best. If things don't work out, you can always just wait for VOD and work on using the catapult to take out their NPCs at VOD. As at this point in the match, there's only 10 more minutes. Here we're going to wait for the res shrine and go for a body block.
At VOD, the game changes quite dramatically with all of the NPCs rushing towards the flag stand and eventually the guild lords. How do your tactics change when that happens?
At that point, you just really want to control where the enemy is going. You don't want to let them onto your catapult, and you don't want them to be able to control the center. So if you can get your NPCs there safely, you should effectively be able to control morale until the guild lord comes out at 35 minutes. At that point just now, when we tried to body block on the res shrine, EviL immediately pushed out with all 8 players to force us off from ganging up on the 1 res.
At one point during a match, do you start planning for VOD? I imagine at this point already it's already
I'd like to point out
the minds of
right
everyone.
now that I am screaming at our team to run out as Last Master just tried to sneak out and catapult our team. However, we all got out in time and countered it and set up our own body block so that Master would not be able to get back in.
Regarding the VOD though, usually you can tell if a game is going to go that long, about maybe 15, 20-ish minutes in, if it's been that long already. So you want to start prepping, take out as many NPCs as you can, get the catapult set up. And here we're just body blocking Last of Master until the 22-minute res mark. At this point, I believe Yunjong came out to try and res number 5. And he gets caught without a prot spirit up and catapulted.
This is stunning tactical play.
So at this point we're going to try to run in as they're down 2 of their damage dealers and try and take out some of their NPCs in their base.
Here there's going to be a spike on Soul Wedding.
And here I am being absolutely incredibly smart and standing in a Maelstrom and Firestorm and Fireballs, and yes, it's excellent.
Good job.
Why, thank you.
At this point I think Soul Wedding's at almost 45 DP, and 1 star is at maybe 30, 45. But he still managed to stay alive with just him up until Bloodlight could res sig Soul Wedding. I'm pretty sure that was their last res sig, as they only carry 3 in this build.
So for emphasis, when you are playing a team such that's so well oiled and together, such as the Last Pride, you do have to keep tabs on everything and all aspects of their build and what parts of your build work against that and basically how many defensive measures they have, correct?
Yeah, definitely want to keep an eye on which characters have DP and how many res sigs they've used.
So again, the ward's in a figure of 8 pattern.
Yes. Good old Venn diagrams. And actually at this point, I think it would have been wise of us to more readily prepare for VOD, but they just bring so much pressure to you that you don't really have time to leisurely think about such matters.
So for instance, what is going through your mind when you've got them in their guild hall? Obviously they're still a threat, but one would think that having reached this point that you've got them very much on the defensive. So what are aspects that you're still on the watch for? What are things that could go at, that are touch and go at any moment? What are the things to look out for?
Well, whenever they make a push at this point, their damage dealers really don't have a lot of DP, so their warriors are going to be in our back lines, the mesmers are going to be up, and the Ellies too. So their offense is still pretty clean. They're going to push hard on us, so we can't let them snowball and kill our monks. Like they're doing right now.
And even though we've killed their monks repeatedly, they're just gonna push on us, and it's simply incredible.
I think at this point we're getting a little worried. Zoa just died, and Stepan is really low with 2 monks on him, and dead now.
So when you have these warriors pushing into your backline and really going after your monks, and they're still clean, as you say, aside from applying, you know, the water snares that you have and the blinding flashes that you have, what else can you do? What can the offensive characters do to help lessen the pressure?
We also have blackouts, which enable you to reset the warrior's adrenaline, and in addition to just scaling them, which also is an additional snare that we have to utilize against their warriors.
In this match, yeah, Bloodlight was running his backbreaker, so we will occasionally just black him out and reset his adrenaline so he can't get that long knockdown off on a monk.
Yes, that's a 4-second knockdown, isn't it?
Yep, it's pretty mean.
Here I am just being very cautious and grabbing an extra flag.
The downside of EviL using these wards so much for their defense is that they're taking a ton of damage from our energy surges and the water hexes.
Spells, which both have the largest area of effect in the game.
Yeah, whenever you see a big jump in multiple HP bars, it's probably a deep freeze or an energy surge.
I'm also noting, as you had alluded to earlier, that EviL is still really going after you and playing very aggressively, despite their monks being at significant DP. How important is it for people to play like this when, in order to stay in the game?
Oh, very important. If EviL had just turtled in their base, this game would be over probably already. Only the fact that they can push out hard against us still is keeping them in this. Here is where I think we make a tactical mistake. At 30 minutes we have both monks down, three other players, but we decide to chase 2 warriors into our base. They're attempting to gank. And we ignore the catapult, so all their NPCs make it out.
It's also going to allow number 6 to come out and res a monk.
The advantage here that we have was that I was at the flag stand with our NPCs, so an extra E-Surge at VOD takes them out before ours die. They do suicide cap the tower though. Here we make another mistake, in my opinion. We have about 15 seconds and they're at a full wipe, and we don't push in and force them to stay at their guild lord. But that just comes from playing cautiously against EviL. We don't want to throw anything away.
Yep, and at this point we just wanted to guarantee the win, sit out our NPCs, wait for the guild lords to come out and duke it out to the middle and not risk EviL ganking our guild lord.
Yeah,
Right,
you'll notice
because that's...
Soliding's DP'd out, so...
Mm-hmm. And that must have been something, to rejoice. You've achieved one objective.
Our objective was to actually kill him just once, but so I think we've gone
Just
pretty far beyond that.
Yes,
happy.
absolutely. So what are the options, as you see them, that remain for EviL? I mean, have they lost
Right here,
it
they are actually going to try to push through us, and then body block our door, and then push up, and then push through us, and then gank our guild lord.
And that's what we were guessing their plan was, so we immediately sent a Woa into our base, so they wouldn't be able to body block him.
At this point, I actually windborn our monks so that they're able to get inside.
I think right here they realize it's not going to happen, so they try to cap.
And Pally will have none of that.
Well, 2 bodyguards and a bunch of archers too. And 1 star is still alive somehow. Here at this point we were trying to save 1 star for the 34-minute mark res. And we probably made another tactical mistake by not pushing in after the Guild Lord, with 2 monks down.
And here I make a pretty nice mistake where I thought Bloodlight was still blinded and he's going to bull strike me. And here Bloodlight is going to get lucky and hit me through blind with another bull strike, which will not allow Awoa to get to me in time. And at this point, we are just waiting for our guild lords to come out.
So at this point, what's going through your head? You've got EviL, basically, you've got Soul Wedding DP'd out. You've got total control of the center. You've got their NPCs kind of all taken care of. What's going through your head at the moment?
We're just waiting for the guild lords to engage in the center, and that way they will be forced to engage us there, and we'll then hopefully be able to take out their guild lord with the help of our NPCs.
Yeah, at this point, once the Guild Lords get to the center, there's just no way a single monk is going to be able to keep it alive against all those NPCs. So we're just stalling for the sure win.
That was a very nice energy, sir.
Thank you, sir. And there goes 1 star, and the Guild Lords right after.
Amazing.